Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and the public gallery. Just a few housekeeping notices before we start. May I remind all present here in the chamber that today's proceedings are being recorded, and by being present you consent to this. The recording will appear on the Council's website and may also be used for training purposes. This is a Council meeting being held in public and not a public meeting. I would therefore ask those present in the public gallery to refrain from interjecting in any way. If so, I have no hesitation in clearing the public gallery, or by the individuals the whole gallery. May I also ask fellow councillors, members of the Council to debate this issue with a modicum decorum and respect it deserves. Thank you. We move on now to declarations of interest.
Mr Mayor, as Leader of the Council's Cabinet, I consider that I may have a personal and prejudicial interest in this motion. On this basis, I have requested a dispensation from the Council's monitoring officer in accordance with the Council's Code of Conduct. I can confirm that, after taking advice from a leading firm of local government lawyers, Bevan Britton, and consulting with the Council's independent persons, that dispensation has been granted and I am able to fully participate in today's debate. I reserve the right to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Mowry.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. As a Cabinet Member, I would like to confirm that I may also be considered to have a personal and prejudicial interest in this matter, and I have requested and received the appropriate dispensation as set out by the Leader. Mr Mayor, I reserve the right to speak to the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mowry. Councillor Plant.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. As Cabinet Member, I would also like to confirm that I may also be considered to have a personal and prejudicial interest in this matter and have requested and received the appropriate dispensation as set out by the Leader. I reserve the right to speak.
Thank you, Councillor Plant. Councillor Jenkinson. Thank you, Councillor Jenkinson. Councillor Turner.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. As a Cabinet Member, I would like to confirm that I may also be considered to have a personal prejudicial interest in this matter and have requested and received the appropriate dispensation as set out by the Leader. I reserve the right to speak to the motion.
Thank you, Councillor Turner. Councillor Knock.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. As a Cabinet Member, I would like to confirm that I may also be considered to have a personal and prejudicial interest in this matter and have requested and received the appropriate dispensation as set out by the Leader. I reserve the right to speak. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Chatt.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. As Cabinet Member, I would like to confirm that I may also be considered to have a personal or prejudicial interest in this matter and have requested and received the appropriate dispensation as set out by the Leader. I also would like to reserve the right to speak.
Thank you, Councillor Chatt. Thank you, Mike. Councillor Cockrell.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. As Cabinet Member, I would confirm that I may also be considered to have a personal and prejudicial interest in this matter and have requested and received the appropriate dispensation as set out by the Leader, and I reserve the right to speak.
Councillor Lynn Basterman.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. As the spouse of the Council's Leader, I confirm that I may also be considered to have a personal and prejudicial interest in this matter and have requested and received the appropriate dispensation as set out by the leader.
Councillor Basterman.
Mr Mayor, all that said, I would like to move that we suspend standing orders for this.
Do we have a seconder? We do. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Have we any further? I'm coming to you, Councillor Manson. We've got Councillor Cross behind you first. Councillor Cross.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. It's interesting that the Cabinet declare personal and prejudicial interest. And furthermore, I think they should do the honourable thing. We're talking about the Cabinet. We're talking about the leader. The vote is purely a recorded vote for or against a declaration of no confidence in the leader and the incumbent portfolio holders of his Cabinet as of today's date. They do have prejudicial interests, pecuniary interests as well, the salaries that they get from as members of the Cabinet, and therefore they should do the honourable thing. They should leave the room and the debate should go on.
Excuse me. One more attempt at that and I'll ask the gallery to be cleared immediately. No more clapping. I've already told you the situation. I will clear the gallery. Please remain quiet so we can hear the debate. Thank you very much.
Is the honourable thing something this Cabinet has done? Is it because the Cabinet have not done the honourable thing that we're here today? You know what I mean?
Councillor Cross.
Can we let
Councillor Cross.
these people vote on themselves?
Please be seated, Councillor Cross. Show some respect. Councillor Anderson.
It was interesting to note that the Cabinet members have declared this interest and got special dispensation and are being allowed to speak. What hasn't been clarified is, Mr Mayor, and I seek advice from the legal eagle on the authority, whether or not they are allowed to vote on this. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, I can confirm that the Cabinet members and Councillor Mrs Basterman sought the appropriate dispensations and will be allowed to participate fully in the meeting.
Excuse me, sir. No film in the gallery, please. Thank you very much. Now, who do we have? Councillor Haddington. Councillor Haddington, I think he wanted to come in. Filming, yes. Still filming. Can you film up there? Can you film up there? Yeah. I'm waiting for Councillor Haddington. Can we have sounds at this side, please, as well? Councillor Haddington.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Even though Councillor Cross has tabled this motion today, let's not forget that it's not just his motion of no confidence, and that Filey Town Council and Whitby Town Council have also sent correspondence to this council of the same appropriate manner, a vote of no confidence in the Cabinet. Mr Mayor, I will be voting in favour of this motion today.
The debate hasn't started yet, Councillor Haddington. We're going through declarations of interest.
I didn't realise that. I apologise. I thought we were getting on with it, Mr Mayor.
We're trying to get on with it, but we keep getting interjections. I don't think there's any need for that type of remark, Councillor Haddington. Councillor Clure.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I think the councillors and the public are maybe entitled to a better information as to why this dispensation has been granted. We cannot see any reason for it.
I'll refer to our legal officer on that matter.
Mr Mayor, can I ask a point of order? You did tell the gallery they weren't to record. They're continuing to record. Can this be dealt with, please?
Yes. Could we have this gentleman removed from the gallery, please, who's recording?
Sorry, Mr Mayor, can I just add a point of clarification on that, that members of the public are allowed to film these meetings, so okay. Apologies.
Sure. Right, well, you're going to read out what you were saying in reply.
Sorry, in relation to the request for the dispensation and why the dispensation was granted, as I think the leader referred to earlier, we did take detailed legal advice on this from external legal advisors who are experts in this field. They're called Bevan Britton, and they advised that the dispensation should be granted on the basis of maintaining the political proportionality of the meeting, and this advice was also confirmed in consultation with the Council's independent persons who we consult with in order to take decisions on this basis, and it is in accordance with the Council's constitution. Thank you, Mr.
I think that concludes the declaration of interest. Apologies for absence, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. We've got apologies from councillors Alf Abbott, Luke Backhouse, David Chance and Marie Harlan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. John Warburton. Did you wish to speak again, Councillor Cross? Sorry?
I want to give apologies for Councillor Norman Murphy.
Thank you, Councillor Cross, for that. Right, we move on to consider the following item. To register a recorded vote for or against a declaration of no confidence in the leader and the incumbent portfolio holders of his cabinet of today's date. Proposer Sam Cross, seconded by Jonathan Dodds. Would you like to speak to your proposal, Sam Cross?
It's fairly straightforward, Mr Mayor. To register a recorded vote for or against a declaration of no confidence in the leader and incumbent portfolio holders of this cabinet as of today. You know what I mean? I would suggest that we go straight to the vote, and I propose the motion.
Standing orders are suspended anyway. It was seconded. We've already done it. Unanimous. It was totally unanimous. Did you want to come in, Leader?
Well, Councillor Cross goes on about a vote of no confidence. I think, quite honestly, the vote of confidence was shown at the ballot box on the 4th of May, when Councillor Cross lost his county seat, which is all this is instigated for. And then again, he lost it on his deposit on the 8th of June at the general election. So I think if the vote of confidence, Councillor Cross, is in you and not us, and whilst you've gone and stirred Whitby and Farley up, it's maybe come back and beat you on the backside with respect. So regarding the swamp and draining the swamp, yes, it's almost been drained because circa 146 UKIP councillors lost their seat in the county elections, but one got away. But rest assured, at the next elections, that one will be caught. But just in order, so as we're clear on the motion, can you clarify what you put in the public domain regarding certain allegations, Councillor Cross, please? Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Just before we go there, Councillor Dodd, are you supporting this motion? You haven't indicated. Stand up then, please. Thank you very much. Councillor Mowry. Yes, Councillor Cross. Councillor Cross?
One of the things is that general public don't want to hear a slanging match about what things are doing. And I reserve the right at the end to actually speak, and I don't have to answer to you, Councillor Basterman.
Councillor Mowry.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I have a question for the proposer of the motion, Councillor Cross. Further to statements you have made publicly, can you please clarify for the benefit of all members present today, the evidence that you have to support the allegations you have made about the conduct of this Council and Cabinet with regards to the Futurist Theatre, particularly in light of the outcome of the meeting held on the 16th of June 2017. So thank you, Councillor Cross. I'd just like to clarify the allegations you've made. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Any other? Speak. Are you going to speak? Questions? Question. Are you not answering the questions, Count?
I'm not here to answer questions to these. This is not the vote of no phone.
You are.
I am not.
You are here.
I am not. I am not here to answer questions to yourselves.
Councillor Cross, you've been asked a question. We need some answers, please. No answers. Councillor Plant. Councillor Cross, will you please extinguish your light?
Sorry.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I do find it a bit rich when we've been accused of not being open and transparent, and then the leader of the UKIP can't be open and transparent with the allegations, what he's put on in the media. And don't you think that the actual members of the public deserve an answer from Councillor Cross? It's been open and transparent. We've gone through the legal proceedings. We are where we are. We've got the debate. And I think, I just want to ask another question as well. There is a question in this,
Thank you.
Mr Mayor. I'm just wondering if one of the allegations in the media is about members of the council being disqualified for not turning up to meetings. And I'm just wondering if Councillor Cross is aware of the actual March council meeting, which it was decided to put an extra thing in for members. It came to the Cabinet, came to the Council, and it basically said the proposed protocol will be characterised by a series of steps which are set out below. Are you aware of the motion what was put to Council, the recommendation, Councillor Cross? The new motion, the new constitution, what's in the constitution about members continuing on the council? Right, okay. Are you aware of the constitution about members being disqualified from the council without attending any meetings? Are you aware of the new constitution?
Please stand up, Councillor Cross, when you answer.
No, I'm just asking. It's in the public domain. We're open and transparent.
Councillor Cross. Let him finish.
But I'm just asking if you were aware, because the allegation in the actual media is actually wrong. Because end of the day, I'll read it out to you, Councillor Cross, because obviously you don't know any answers, and I'll read it out to you. And just bear in mind that in 1415, if one of your members, without coming up to the local election, they would have been actually disqualified because they didn't attend the meetings. That was under that rules. I'll tell you the new rules now, Mr Cross, or Councillor Cross, when I found the actual page, because it's just gone off. But I like to keep to my facts, Councillor Anderson, and I'd rather read it out as it is, and rather than getting mixed up. And it keeps jumping off the page. The proposed protocol will be characterised by a series of steps which are set out below. Democratic Services officers are automatically alerted if a councillor has failed to attend a local authority meeting for 4 consecutive months. At this point, the Democratic Services officer emails the councillor and their group leader explaining the situation and outlining the Raymond Authority meetings available to the councillor to avoid disqualification. The councillor is asked if there is a risk that he or she will fail to attend of all those remaining available meetings, and that being so, if she would like to submit an application for extended absence, given the proposed duration of the extension in months and reasons. This particular member did this, Councillor Cross, and she went through the procedure and said rather than submit the application for extended absence in the form of a report to full council, which may occasion further delays because of the timing of council meetings, authority is delegated to the monitoring officer to determine the application in consultation with the two independent persons. This would require an amendment to the officer scheme of delegation in the Constitution. That's as it stands, Councillor Cross. And if it wasn't for the leader of this council, not long ago, one of your members would have been disqualified. They would have been disqualified. The only reason why they weren't disqualified is the meeting was set up for the licensing committee. So, Councillor Cross, that's been open and transparent. We want to do that. That's why we're standing up today. We have a right to defend ourselves as Cabinet members, and if you've got any questions to us, I'd like to hear them so we can answer them. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I take it you're not... Are you speaking now, Councillor Cross?
Just to come back to Councillor Plant, the councillor in turn did attend a meeting within the statutory 6-month period and therefore did qualify and should have not have been suspended. For whatever reason, with regard to the previous question with regard to the futurists, the SBC barristers at the hearing said SBC had not yet made a decision to demolish the futurists as it could be cost inhibitive. Thank you.
Councillor Byte, yes, thank you. Well, he came first. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm not really sure how pertinent what's gone on for the last few minutes is to this particular debate. I really fail to understand that. I shall be voting for this motion because during my initial training 2 years, I was told the most important part of my job was to represent those that elected me.
Excuse me, can you clear the gallery, please? Come on. Please clear the gallery. We'll suspend the meeting for a little while. Thank you. Please clear the gallery. Can you? Okay, please. I'm not going to go on. We'll just adjourn the meeting for 10 minutes. Please be seated, members. Now reconvening the meeting. Because of the continued disruption to this meeting and the refusal of the public to leave at my request, I propose that we move straight to the vote on this issue.
Mr Mayor, with regards to your proposal with regards to this, I think the early debate or discussions has shown that there's no need for us to have a battle of wits with an unarmed opponent, and on the basis of that I would move straight to the motion and that we go straight to the vote. Thank you.
Do we have a seconder?
Mr Mayor, I rise to second that. Thank you.
All those in favour? Against? We got these. Against? Abstentions? Motion's carried. I now declare the meeting. The vote, sorry. Yeah. I nearly got it in.
Mr. Mayor, can I move that it's a recorded vote? Please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. I don't bother. Yeah, I know, sorry, I'm getting carried away. All right. Yes, please. Proceed.
Okay, thank you, members. Councillor Abbott is absent. Councillor Allinson. Against. Councillor Andrew Backhouse. Councillor Backhouse absent. Councillor Barnett. Councillor Basterman Derek. Councillor Mrs Basterman. Councillor Billing. Councillor Broadbent. Councillor Chatt. Councillor Cluer. Councillor Cockrell. Councillor Colling. Councillor Coulson. Councillor Cross. Paul Cross, sorry. Councillor Sam Cross. Councillor Dennett. Councillor Dodds. Councillor Donoghue Moncrieff. Councillor Fox. Councillor Fox. Councillor Green. Councillor Green against, thank you. Councillor Haddington. Councillor Harlan's absence. Councillor Inman. Councillor Jeffels. Councillor Jefferson. Councillor Jenkinson. Councillor Linsky. Councillor Mallory. Councillor Moore. Councillor Moody. Councillor Mortimer. Councillor Norman Murphy is absent. Councillor Roxanne Murphy. Councillor Knock. Councillor Pearson. Councillor Phillips. Councillor Plant. Councillor Price. Councillor Randerson. Councillor Ritchie. Councillor Siddons. Councillor Mr Mayor.
Against. I'm quite sure.
Councillor Swires. Councillor Trumper. Councillor Turner. Councillor Vasey. Councillor Walsh. Councillor Warburton's absent. Thank you.
I take it the motion is lost. Do you want the numbers? Do you want the numbers that you state? The motion is defeated. That now concludes the business of today. Thank you.
Please, standing, please worship the Mayor.